Welcome everyone to Mexico. We are at the Pyramid of the Sun, one of the largest pyramids in the entire world. We'll learn exactly why it's so large, and we're gonna chat with a anthropologist, tour guide, and also musician, Rodrigo of Mexico Underground. We're gonna stay in the same spot because we're recording also a full tour, which you can watch us walk around the actual grounds of this amazing place. A very sacred, a very important place, not just for the original Teotihuacanos, but also for the Mexica, who said that this was their ancestors. There in the distance, we see the Pyramid of the Moon. We see the mountains, how the mountains reflect the Pyramid of the Moon, and we're gonna learn about the Pyramid of the Sun with Rodrigo over here.
Hey guys, how are you? Hello, it's a pleasure to be back with you again.
Mexico Underground. And so what we're gonna do here is let's chat, give us an overview of where we're standing right now, and then we're gonna talk about the Pyramid of the Sun.
Yeah, sure. We're standing on one of the axes. This is the Pyramid of the Sun. We know now that it's the oldest or the first building that was completed, or that they started to build first, okay? So it was even in time before the project of the Temple of the Moon, okay? And it also has a special consideration because the whole temple is bordered or by a wall. So we are standing in the top of the wall that protects and borders the Temple of the Sun, and it is also one of its main and major accesses to it, okay?
So they actually built a wall to protect it. Fascinating.
Yeah. It is in a way for protection, but also for distinction, to make it exclusive, so to say.
Oh, fascinating. Okay. So this plaza was basically a sunken plaza.
Exactly, a sunken plaza. And then even like right next to the Temple of the Sun, right at the very border, the edge of it in its foundation or it's in its base, there is like another sunken area that would actually resemble like a moat.
Oh,
like the ones that used to be around castles in the medieval times. No? And you had to cross a bridge to get into the castle because there was a tank around the castle. Similar to that, it happened here. Not only reason, but for the collection or the appropriation or the advantage of taking advantage of water, rainwater also falling or streaming down from the pyramid. So if we were to get closer even from there, we would see the mouth shape around the temple. No? The wall that was protecting it, it was also to make it exclusive because of the celebrations and the things that would happen in the Temple of the Sun were only available or only some person would be eligible to be part of it, right? And that's why there is a protection or there is a separation from the rest. No, unlike the Temple of the Moon that we spent some time before, that it's pretty open there. Everyone was able to procession and travel up the Avenue of the Dead to get to the Temple of the Moon. Okay, this is the third largest pyramid in the world, by the way, at least in its base. The first one would be the Cheops Pyramid in Giza in Egypt, and it's also, I mean, it's greatly bigger than this one, the one in Egypt, in terms of like taller. But then the second large pyramid in the world would be the Pyramid of Cholula, which is also found in Mexico, just an hour and a half away, southeast of Mexico City. The Cholula Pyramid was built in stages as well, and it resembled a hill. Now it has a giant, well, not a giant, a little church on top of that pyramid. That one, it's a little more than 250 meters on each side, on its base. Second largest pyramid in the world. The third largest pyramid in the world, it's the Temple of the Sun in its base, and it reaches a height of 200 feet tall.
So when you say large, what do you mean? Large by perimeter or large by height?
Like on its base.
Okay,
and its base. By height, it's also, in this case, by height will be the third, the second in Mexico, just after the one in Cholula.
So Giza is still the first.
Yes.
Reigns. Okay. And wow, that's quite impressive. So just to the scale of this, 200 feet, it's bigger than the Statue of Liberty. In New York, and it's bigger. It's almost as tall as most high rises in Mexico City.
Almost as tall as most high rises in Mexico City. That's right, except for maybe the most recent ones. Slightly higher because of engineering accomplishments, of course, no, like discoveries. But yes, it's so big that you can actually see these ones are visible from several miles away in distance as you are approaching the site.
Yes.
So that's how big and dense they are, especially when you're talking about the landscape. No?
It's breathtaking seeing it from the highway.
Absolutely. And now it would be even more breathtaking if we could tell your audience also, just try to not close your eyes because then you wouldn't see what we're looking at. But I would tell you, just try to imagine this thing being perfectly covered in plastered then painted.
Painted as well.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like, imagine those Greek great sculptures that are made in marble and they're all white today.
Right.
We now know that in the past, long time ago, they were also painted. They looked like they had the black hair and the white skin and whatever. But then the paint was faded or washed away. We only get the marble. Similar. In this case, we're looking only at the raw materials of construction, which is the volcanic stone. But all the sticking out rocks that you probably see that are kind of like dots found on the facade of the pyramid, those were used as a grid and as an full system for the builders to be able to plaster the faces of the pyramid and then be able to paint on it. No?
Yeah.
We believe that at the point, at the pinnacle of Teotihuacan, this temple was mostly painted in a combination of red and white color, red, white, and blue colors. And then the Temple of the Moon would be covered in paint, but favoring more the white color instead of the red color, no? The white and the blue color instead of the red color. So just try to imagine for a second that at the pinnacle of Teotihuacan, you could not see the volcanic rocks at all. It was all covered in plaster, all painted, just like the mural of the Puma we saw before, right?
Fascinating. So B. Griffin asked a question that we're already answering on the HD video. Yes, they are made out of different facets. Like they made a smaller pyramid, then they made a bigger one, and a bigger one, and a bigger one. Yeah.
Yes, in the case of the Temple of the Sun, several tunnels were opened to see or try to find those previous stages. And that's why we know that that was a first technique of architecture. The Temple of the Sun doesn't have those layers within.
Yeah.
This one was built more stacking or piling up the levels above the previous one, and it's perfectly solid inside. There's no chambers, no tunnels, no rooms. So this was like a first technique or style, and then they started making the other one, which was using the faces of the pyramid.
Right.
But one question that could be also answered connecting to what you said is that this temple also has its own tunnel underneath that takes you right into the bottom and underneath the pyramid to a great chamber with 4 rooms on it, almost shaped like one of the most famous and beautiful glyphs of the Teotihuacan people, which was the 4-petal flower. Take advantage of that. I brought something I brought with me right now.
Sunshine.
To show you that.
Thank you so much for becoming a new member, Sunshine. New super urbanist. Everyone send hearts to Sunshine.
This, guys, is a copy of one of the paintings.
So let me interrupt you there. Mandy, these are the colors that we will have seen on the walls.
That's right. Yeah. These are the colors we would have seen on the walls. And this is the 4-petal flower, which was one of the most sacred glyphs or symbols of the Teotihuacan people that survived till the Aztec times. It's a symbol that brings together the 4 paths of the universe, probably the 4 elements of life, and all in an axis of life. This is the shape. That is, it has the chamber underneath.
Let me hold this right next to the pyramid so people could get a sense of how it could have been colored.
That's right.
No one knows for sure exactly.
No one knows for sure, but this one comes from a piece of pottery and a wall also found in Teotihuacan. So this is entirely Teotihuacan. But what I'm saying is that the chamber underneath has that shape. Once you get it to the chamber, it has 4 rooms that resemble the 4-petal flower, the 4 paths of the universe, and the underworld where the water would be reserved, the reservoirs of water kept by the mountains that become a river.
So that answers your question, Gwen. That's awesome. So Rodrigo is an anthropologist and tour guide, so feel free to ask him anything right now for the next 5 minutes. We're gonna have a Q&A, and let me see if I get anyone's questions, and then we're gonna also end the video after this. So
yes.
Mike, thank you so much for recording all of this. Can you plug your real estate offerings? I would love to people know where can people find your real estate.
Yes. Well, you can find me in Instagram.
Yeah.
Like Inmuebles, M-A-C-H. And if you want to buy real estate here in Mexico City, you can find it there.
Awesome. Check out again, Mike. He's a real estate agent in Mexico City. So please feel free to ask anything. We'll stick around here because we have good service, luckily, here.
Yes,
thanks
cool
to
and open.
Thanks to great Quetzalcoatl for providing nice, good service. Hector says that's why you should hire Mexican painters, because they get the good hard work done. They've been doing good painting for centuries.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely, totally. Yeah, it's in the genes, of course.
And let's end this video right now. Rodrigo, where can people find you on Mexico Underground.
Yeah, you can find me on MX. It's MX Underground, the social media. That you can find me also through my Instagram personal one. It's Rooduluz. That would be ROODULUOZ. So ROODULUOZ in zebra, and that's my personal Instagram. You can find me there, yes, or through MX Underground as well. Happily.
Awesome, and be sure to leave Mexico Underground 5-star review if you really enjoyed this tour on TripAdvisor. You don't need to mention that it's a live stream. You could mention it as if you were here. And also, thank you so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Okay, so just hold this until we finish the Q&A. Thank you so much, man. So everyone give hearts for Mike. He just was a sport. An hour and a half carry around that camera.
It's like the torch of the Olympics.
Right. So yeah, we'll stick around. We'll stick around for 10 minutes here so we can get a tan and answer your anthropological questions.
Absolutely. I have no problem getting redder.
Was the data good when you streamed the constructions of the pyramids?
It was better. It was better.
Better. Quetzalcoatl G was very good service.
Yeah, exactly.
Wendy, nice to see you here. Hello, Gigi. Remesis dice, muchísimas gracias. Sí, puede preguntar cualquier cosa también en español, porque obviamente...
I know a little Spanish.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. Un poquito.
Video. Okay, let's see. Hello, B. Griffin, nice to see you here. Hello, Rudulo. Thank you so much for putting his
yeah, Instagram. Thank
Instagram.
You. Yes,
thank you.
Appreciate
So let me
that.
highlight that.
Correct. Yeah.
Welcome, Small. Nice to see you here. SF Fields. This is Mexico Underground in association with Ubish and also Indra.
Yes.
Griffin.
It's the three of us. Ubish is the boss. Is the CEO.
Yeah.
And we are apprentices and friends and colleagues.
So we have two great questions. Mandy asks, can you go inside the pyramid?
No, you can't go inside the pyramid, mostly and especially because there's no tunnels or rooms inside the pyramid. Mm-hmm. The only thing you can do, and that happens for the three of them, is going through the tunnel. And I mean, this could be done in case that you had a special permission, which is granted by the authorities. It takes a long time, it's paperwork and etc. You need to be most of the times a researcher or so.
Not even the biggest archaeologist YouTubers have gotten in, like the professional ones.
That's right,
yeah,
exactly.
Not even them have gotten in.
And now with technology, they tend to send more like robotic little cars and stuff like that, no? Just like
drones.
Like a drone, exactly, yes. But yeah, you don't go inside the pyramid, you go underneath the pyramids or the temples through this tunnel, no? Instead, what you do is you go up the pyramids, no? In reality, and since the beginning, they were meant to be climbed, to reach to the upper part. That's why we call them tol, or in Spanish alto, like an altar, right. Something that is higher than the rest. So in a way, the idea was to be able to recreate nature by man-made skill, making a man-made mountain, but also to bring something higher, elevated, and in that case more special than the rest. In this case, guys, it's very important to mention, they recently discovered a sculpture found within and inside the top of the pyramid. The sculpture is a very well-known sculpture, even by the Aztec civilization. It's an old man sitting down in this position, like this, and like that.
Yeah.
And he has above his head a fire pot. He has like a brazier for burning wood, and to have a flame from it. We believe that, or has been associated with one of the ancient symbols of one of the elements of life known as fire, the transformer. Now we are trying to connect the reason why that was found on this one, and that's probably because we have two types of mountains generally. The mountains of water, which are the ones that keep the water, bring the water, collect the water, and then stream it in rivers. All rivers start in mountain ranges, but there's other type of mountains. And especially here, we have several of those. Volcanoes. And without both of them, we wouldn't have the magical existence of fertility and life. Yeah. One of the reasons why Mesoamerica was able to become the nest and the home to all these fascinating cultures is the amount of fertile land coming down from the volcanic activity from millions of years ago. So if you have a mountain dedicated to the water, to how it brings and streams the river down. Fields as well.
This one very
different petals of flowers, roots from seeds. When you bring it flowers, the color, the chromatic oxide, and the granite, the all of it abundant as you could. Those grains, you get. Catch it. Let's catch it.
Well, we were so lucky. 15 minutes.
You're getting better reception?
Not yet. Not yet. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Reception is very bad here, so we're gonna answer one quick last question. Games of soccer. Did they play? Not soccer. The
ball game.
The ball game. Did they play here?
That's a very, very good looking question, and just very recently, and thanks to very modern and like cutting edge technology, we have apparently been able to start locating the place where the ball game court was in Teotihuacan. In other words, up to this day, or actually up to this year, we were still looking for the ball court game in Teotihuacan because it's the only archaeological site that doesn't have it very evident, like very right in front of your eyes. But there is remains of paintings, in mural paintings, that depict the ball game. So we know, we can tell you that they knew about it, they probably practiced it, but we haven't been able to excavate or bring out the court as it is. So it's still in research, it's loading, buffering ball game, yeah.
Zapato says that the Aztec warriors do not like us filming in sacred sites.
Yeah, right.
And,
no, you know what? The thing is that the actual monuments, the open space here, being in the wild, but the shape and the amount of rocks that are stacked like this, they do create like a magnetic, electromagnetic field.
Right.
When you get on top of the Temple of the Sun, for example,
how many steps?
It's 260 something steps.
Wow.
Sometimes girls get their hair like rising up because of static and the electromagnetic that is created there. So there is some kind of an energetic change or thing happening here as well.
Pro tip: if there's a lot of static electricity up there, it might be a very great date spot because if you kiss, you might actually give sparks.
Yes, you might give sparks, and you would get the spark needed to become a successful couple.
Right, precisely. Gigi says, wow, really? And Jan says, recuerda subir y bajar las escaleras diagonal.
In diagonal, yes. We were just saying that also. It's one of the common ideas of the people here. We don't really know for sure, like as in written sources, if there was anything to account for that. We have now been able to come up with different symbolic ideas in which they would say, go up in diagonal because of the steps are too narrow, so it's better to go sideways. Other people say if you do it, you never show your back to the shrine. If you go downstairs in sideways, in diagonal, then you're never fully showing your back to whatever sacredness of the mountain would be. That's another explanation they say.
That's a superstition.
It's a superstition.
Is there other superstitions associated with?
No, not really. Well, Dalai Lama came here, and a superstition said that the person that guided Dalai Lama 28 years ago or something like that he said that Teotihuacan was considered as a world chakra, like the earth chakra, like another energetic place on earth. But then that was discussed, and later, after a while, we discovered something. The harmony, the symphony created by the elements needed for life found in the valley of Teotihuacan, talking about volcanic rock, talking about fertile lands, talking about water streams, underground water streams from the caves of volcanic activity millions of years ago, the proximity to the lake, etc. Those things, the rain season, the dry season, those things coming together symphonically, harmonically here, are energies that were able to allow the Teotihuacans to thrive for 700 years.
Fascinating.
That would be more like the understanding in that way, not just like there is an energetic like chakra here.
It's not one of the known chakra points.
It's supposed to be in. There's a name for these lines. It's a
ley lines.
A lane line. It's supposed to be part of a lane line as well.
Part of a ley line, yeah. Because I actually did a live video in one of the chakra points, and that's Glastonbury, England.
Glastonbury, England.
That's
yes.
known with the heart chakra, so green. And then the other one should be Sedona.
Yes, Sedona in Arizona.
Yeah,
yes,
Arizona.
exactly. Yeah.
Zapatos, sí, Rodrigo's es un guía turístico.
That's right.
MXunderground.com. MXunderground.com. We still have good service, so I'm just going to add a few more questions. Can we see the pyramids? Yeah. Bro. Here it is. Sunshine says, Ariel, you're going to have super energy today. Indeed I am. I already feel it. I already feel Quetzalcoatl going through my veins.
That's right, actually. People would started to say that if you came to Teotihuacan, that's actually this is a very cool like pop culture piece of info, guys.
Yeah.
You know, remember the 80s and the 90s with activity and Teotihuacan became for proclaiming the temple of the sun.
Yeah.
And they would get to the top and touch the floor, touch the rock, or even more crazy, they would touch a little piece of metal bar. Yeah.
We got service good. All right, cool.
Yeah, they would touch
Let's
a
not
little
push
piece
off your thought. And
so yeah, it's a very cool pop.
this is why I cover cities.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
No. Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. It's tough around except the pyramid, unless if the signal's not bouncing because of the pyramid.
Sometimes I think that happens. They do really create some kind of resonance.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep it selfie mode until we get it. All right, everyone. Yeah, I'm determined to sign up. All right, everyone, keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. MXunderground.com. Rodrigo, check them out. You'll see the full HD video soon.
Thank you,
everyone.
guys. It was a pleasure.
Have a great day, everyone.